patient engagement is now business as usual at Pfizer when we develop our clinical trials. So we have an established relationship with the National Institute of Health Research Clinical Research Network, and we've worked with them to pilot the Patient Engagement in Clinical Development Service. We typically engage with the NIHR at the very beginning of when we're designing our clinical trial, so as we can take on board patient and caregiver insights and shape the design of the clinical trial from the outset. The feedback that we've received from patients and caregivers has been broad and really changed the design and delivery of the clinical trials.
I think patient engagement in clinical research is pivotal. It's for a number of different reasons. There might be parts of the trial that aren't really crucial to the endpoint but have been kept in the protocol, but actually might provide quite the barrier for the patient and actually be quite restrictive when it comes to recruiting. So absolutely crucial to involve patients, and ideally from the earliest possible point, so that we can ensure the protocol is designed with them and not for them. So we launched the Patient Engagement in Clinical Development Service, I think around October 2018. And it started with working with our life sciences partners, Pfizer being one of those, to understand that there very much was a gap between engaging with patients with companies. So we sensed there was a need and an opportunity to bridge that gap and to provide a national framework to facilitate that interaction.
Since this partnership was established in 2018, Pfizer has had 15 engagements with the National Institute for Health Research. In all trials where we partnered with UK patients, changes were made to the study's design, documentation or delivery as a direct result of this engagement. And in recognition of our work on patient engagement, the NIHR Patient Engagement in Clinical Development Service was recently shortlisted for the Most Valuable Collaboration Award at Reuters Pharma Awards Europe 2020 event.
Pfizer is probably the biggest company, definitely one of the biggest companies pharma companies that we've worked with as a young person's advisory group. But I think they've kind of set the precedent that they've shown that no matter how big you are, you still need opinions from children and young people, because they are, let's say, the key stakeholders in pediatric research. Because you're doing the research on these children and young people, you should 110% involve them within the design and the early stages of the development of these projects. I think one of the most important things that researchers can do is come to us as young people's advisory groups at an earlier stage. I think at the point before they have even thought properly about how they're going to design their trial, it makes such a big difference, because children and young people can influence it and actually make such a positive difference from the start. All my best experiences of being part of this research group or the Young Person's Advisory Group is when the researchers come back to us and show us how our opinions have changed their research, show that they've listened to us, and it makes us feel worthwhile and that we've actually got a voice.
We ensure that all of our protocols have some form of patient engagement, and it's not always about the actual research protocol that we ask patients to engage in. Sometimes it might be the informed consent documentation, or perhaps the patient-reported outcomes that we plan to capture, or actually how we want to train the staff that end up performing the clinical trials in the hospitals. So all are examples of ensuring that we better the design and delivery of our clinical trials. We're proud of this partnership, and we plan to continue to work together to design and develop clinical trials